What's up, YouTube? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snatch you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title of my thumbnail, this is my WWE Raw review and highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content that I do on the channel, because I'm on the road to 11K. I'm on the road to 11K, and I'm on the road to 3,000 watch hours. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Raw was just a boring show for what it was. Alright, WWE Raw was live from Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. Commentary tonight with Joe Testo and Ray Barrett. Then, now, forever together. The WWE video leads us into the show. The WWE drone flies us over to Dallas, Texas before we go into the American Airlines Center. Video package last week on Raw. Roman Reigns returned to save the Usos from being destroyed by the Vision. Roman Reigns kicks off Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns heads to the ring to a big ovation. OTC, that's what they are calling him now. Walks around the ring and looks very somber. The music stops and the crowd starts to sing Roman Reigns' name. Roman Reigns closes his eyes and soaks it in before the OTC chant picks up. Roman Reigns says, "Dallas, Texas, acknowledge me." The crowd cheers. Big Bronson Reed comes out to the stage alongside Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns puts his head down in frustration. The crowd boos the Tribal Thief. Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman stay on the stage and stare at Roman Reigns. They ask if they're going to say anything. Paul Heyman says he doesn't know who has been wise man and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says he broke Paul Heyman's heart about public speaking, but Roman Reigns has ruined the entire that's it. Paul Heyman loudly says, "Dallas, Texas, acknowledge your tribal thief." Bronson Reed puts a finger in the air. Paul Heyman tells Roman Reigns to acknowledge the one man on the face of the planet whom he fears in his heart. Big Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed smiles. Paul Heyman says Roman Reigns knows he fears him as well. He should. Not once in Roman Reigns' entire life has he been beaten such a degree that he had to leave on a stretcher. Not once in his football games. In the Anoa family barbecues did Roman Reigns leave on a stretcher in Roman Reigns' entire career, let alone before he was the tribal chief with Paul Heyman at the height of his greatness. Not once did a man beat him in such a degree that he was placed on a stretcher, taken out of the arena, and taken all the way to the hospital. Bronson Reed takes the microphone and the crowd boos. Bronson Reed says Roman Reigns' father, Sika, after 45 years in the business, was never stretched out. His uncle Alpha, after 45 years in the business, was never stretched out. How does Roman Reigns think they feel as they look down on him being stretched out by his hands? Roman Reigns says Bronson Reed didn't know his father or his uncle. The dumb you know what next to Bronson Reed did. What does Paul Heyman think his dad would say? His dad would say F them, says fight him now. Roman Reigns says he wants to do this now. Paul Heyman holds Bronson Reed's arm and warns him that this is a trap. Bronson Reed needs to do this on his time. Roman Reigns says he's done this before and knows what Paul Heyman is saying. No, there are no wise words. These are words of a coward. Paul Heyman is telling Bronson Reed that he's on the tribal chief's time. Roman Reigns is leveled above him. It's always his time. However, Bronson Reed wants to do this. He always be his tribal chief. Paul Heyman continues to whisper to Bronson Reed as the crowd chants OTC. Paul Heyman gives the compliments because it sounds like it came from a wise man. Paul Heyman says they do this on Saturday night at Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia. It'll be a match that Bronson Reed has never been defeated in. Bronson Reed was so dominating in the match that WWE recruited him from Australia. This Saturday night is Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns in the Australian street fight. The crowd isn't happy. Roman Reigns sneers and says, "Too easy, I accept." Which I already know that Roman Reigns is going to go over Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel. But let me continue. Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed go to leave. So Roman says they walk in like tough guys, but are leaving like you know what. Bronson Reed is frustrated by that and charges down to the ring. Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns starts to brawl. Bronson Reed quickly sends Roman Reigns out of the ring. Bronson Reed goes outside to get him, but Roman Reigns catches him with a Superman punch, knocking Bronson Reed over the barricade. Roman Reigns starts to clear the commentary table by security, and WWE officials run down to stop him. Roman Reigns gets around them and starts to brawl with Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns is pulled away, but he breaks free and hits Bronson Reed with another Superman punch. Bronson Reed looks out on his feet. Bronson Reed is held back as Roman Reigns poses on the turnbuckle and points to the sky. Pretty basic opener to the show, with all the talk about Roman Reigns being stretched out of the arena. You'll think the stipulation for the WWE Crown Jewel match would be an ambulance match, but it's simple: street fight for Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed needs a win. No, he does not. Roman Reigns needs to win. Alright, pre-show arrivals. CM Punk is shown walking backstage. Lava Kira is shown entering the arena. She'll battle Roxanne Perez. Il Sky is walking backstage. Video package. Last Monday on Raw, the Kabuki Warriors attacked Rhea Ripley and Il Sky ran down to help, so Asuka gave her the poison mist. Later in the night, Il Sky told Rhea Ripley that they'll battle the Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. I can see Il Sky and Rhea Ripley going over the Kabuki Warriors. Kairi Sane and Il Sky. Backstage segment. Asuka is yelling at Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Asuka demands a match with Kairi Sane and Il Sky. Adam Pearce agrees and says he needs a drink. Kairi Sane walks up to Asuka. Asuka tells her that she'll be battling Il Sky. Kairi Sane gets choked up and says she doesn't want to fight Il Sky because she thinks she can bring her back into the family. Il Sky slaps her in the face and says the match is happening. Kairi Sane says she understands. Asuka says she's a good girl and yells at her to follow her. Kairi Sane looks broken. Alright, so WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch heads to the ring. She'll battle Maxine Dupree next. So we go to commercial replay. Last Monday on Raw, Becky Lynch attacked Maxine Dupree and Akira Tozawa after Tozawa laughs at her misfortune with AJ Lee. Alright, so we get the non-title match. So we get Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. Man, this match was just terrible. But I can say this though. This gotta be one of the best. This gotta be Maxine Dupree's best match on Raw. But the entire match itself, from the beginning to the end, was just terrible. It was just terrible. You got Becky Lynch looks like a fool now. You got Becky Lynch looking like a fool after Becky Lynch took a 10 count out to Maxine Dupree. So Becky Lynch lost to Maxine Dupree by a count out. That don't make any sense. But this match right here was just terrible. But I can say this though, this gotta be one of Maxine Dupree's best match on Monday Night Raw. The match itself was just terrible. The bell rings and they circle the ring before locking up. Becky Lynch pulls the hair and backs her to the corner. Maxine Dupree spins her around, so Becky Lynch shoves her a few times. Maxine Dupree shoves back and tells her to bring it. Maxine Dupree hits an arm drag and applies an armbar. Becky Lynch fights up and slams her down before applying a wrist lock. Becky Lynch hits a takedown and applies a front face lock. Maxine Dupree fights up and whips her off, but Becky Lynch connects with a shoulder tackle. Becky Lynch pop faced her a few times. Maxine Dupree punches back and ducks a clothesline, but Becky Lynch catches her on the rebound with a stiff clothesline. Becky Lynch puts her in the corner and stomps her before getting in the referee's face. Becky Lynch whips Maxine Dupree to the corner and charges, but Maxine Dupree moves. Maxine Dupree sends her to the corner and catches her with a Luther's press, followed by a mistimed drop kick that hits Becky Lynch on the knees. Becky Lynch rolls out of the ring, so Maxine Dupree hits her with a moonsault sent her off the apron. Maxine Dupree is fired up. Becky Lynch quickly pops up and throws her into the barricade before hitting a back exploder into the barricade. So we go to commercial break. We're back from the commercial break to see Becky Lynch sizing Maxine Dupree up. Maxine Dupree fights back at her with some forearm thrusts to the chest. They go back and forth with strikes before Becky Lynch hits a strike combo. Becky Lynch hits the ropes, but Maxine Dupree takes her out with a bicycle kick. Maxine Dupree hits a pair of diving clotheslines, followed by a knee to the head. Maxine Dupree avalanches her in the corner and hits a fisherman suplex, followed by a kip up. Maxine Dupree pulls the straps and goes for a spin kick. But Becky Lynch blocks it. Maxine Dupree twists out and applies an ankle lock. Becky Lynch rolls through and pulls Maxine Dupree into the turnbuckles. Becky Lynch viciously knees her in the face, but Maxine Dupree looks knocked out. Becky Lynch slaps her and climbs the middle turnbuckle to punch away at her. Maxine Dupree counters with a sit-up powerbomb for a near fall. Maxine Dupree heads to the top rope, but Becky Lynch sweeps her feet. Becky Lynch climbs the second rope and shakes off some strikes from Maxine Dupree. Becky Lynch connects with a superplex and covers for a 2 count. Becky Lynch quickly goes for a cross arm breaker, but Maxine Dupree gets out and applies an ankle lock. Becky Lynch rolls her up for a 2 count. Maxine Dupree fights back and hits a German suplex, followed by a spin kick. 1-2, Becky Lynch barely kicks out. The crowd going wild. Maxine Dupree goes up the top rope and hits a crossbody block. Becky Lynch rolls through and grabs the tights for a 2 count. Maxine Dupree quickly rolls Becky Lynch up and gets her feet on the ropes for a near fall. Becky Lynch is furious and kicks her in the face. The winner of it says Becky Lynch gets Dupree at ringside and bounces her off the commentary table. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Becky Lynch bounces her off the apron and sends her into the barricade. Becky Lynch slings her into the barricade again and gets the ring and yells at the referee. Becky Lynch goes outside and bounces Maxine Dupree's face off the ring steps. Becky Lynch leans her on the prime hydration station and hits her with a big prime bottle. That right there should have been a disqualification. Because Jessica Carr seen that in 4K. So you mean to tell me if Becky Lynch hit Maxine Dupree with the hydration bottle, with the prime bottle, you're not going to call it disqualification? But that would have been Maxine Dupree hitting Becky Lynch with a prime bottle. Y'all would have called it disqualification then. That's nothing but facts. But let me continue. Becky Lynch gets in the ring and gets in the referee's face again. Becky Lynch goes back to ringside and says she's the greatest before bouncing Maxine Dupree's face off the commentary table. Becky Lynch stands on the table and taunts the crowd. Maxine Dupree rolls into the ring as the referee counts out Becky Lynch. That was a terrible ending right there. Why would you have Becky Lynch lose by count out to Maxine Dupree? Now you got Becky Lynch looks like a fool out there. But the winner by count out Maxine Dupree, that ending was just got awful. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. After enduring a lot of torment and online bullying, that this is awesome chant had to feel so good for Maxine Dupree. Becky Lynch helped carry her to a very good match. But Maxine Dupree is showing a lot of growth. Nice surprise ending as well. Good stuff. No, it's not. Throughout the entire match between Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch, that match was just boring. Who books this match? And who scripted that part? Who books this kind of match? Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair, please come back, man. I miss Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. Somebody need to save the women's division. Cause I miss Liv Morgan I miss Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. Them the only two superstars I miss the most. Is Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. And that's all I gotta say. Alright, let me continue. Backstage segment. Roman Reigns is walking backstage when the Usos walk up to him. Jimmy Uso cannot believe they talk about uncles Alpha and Sika. And Sika. Jimmy Uso starts to say they're going to help, but Jey Uso interjects and says that he has got Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says Jey Uso isn't holding things down. Who is speaking at the top of the hour? Jey Uso says CM Punk is. Roman Reigns says, Jey Uso knows what he has to do and walks off. Roman Reigns says to Jimmy Uso that he sees everything. Why is it a problem to take advice from him? Now, if I was Jimmy Uso, I would have said something right there. But it is what it is, man. Gorilla positioning segment. Lyra Kira is warming up when Bayley asks to accompany her. Bayley is in a very chipper mood. Lyra Kira agrees to let Bayley come to ringside with her. Lyra Kira and Bayley make their entrance. Lyra Kira will battle Roxanne Perez next. So we go to commercial break. NXT showdown featuring NXT versus TNA Wrestling will take place tomorrow night on the CW Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Alright. Replay last Monday on Raw. Lyra Kira and Bayley were being beaten up by Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. Bayley then snaps and took Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez out. So we get the next match. Lyra Kira accompanied by Bayley versus Roxanne Perez, accompanied by Raquel Rodriguez. We've seen this match so plenty of times. We've seen this match between Lyra Kira and Roxanne Perez so many times. But this was a decent match. The bell rings and Roxanne Perez shows Lyra Kira. Lyra Kira hits a headlock takeover. Roxanne Perez fights up and takes her down. After some chain wrestling, Lyra Kira shows her down and talks some trash. Roxanne Perez slaps her in the face, so they brawl in the corner. Roxanne Perez kicks Lyra Kira in the head and slings her down by the hair. Lyra Kira quickly trips her and applies a front face lock for a 2 count. Lyra Kira and Roxanne Perez have countered for their counters. Lyra Kira takes her down and hits a basement dropkick for a 2 count. Lyra Kira applies a waist lock, but Roxanne Perez slides out and shoves her. Roxanne Perez boosts her back and goes for a second top rope for a diving knee to the back of the neck. Roxanne Perez rolls her to the apron and grabs the arm. Roxanne Perez bends the arm over the bottom rope turnbuckle, connector, and stomps her. Bayley looks worried. Commercial break. Back from the break, Lyra Kira has Roxanne Perez on her shoulders, but Roxanne Perez slides off and viciously attacks the injured arm. Lyra Kira blocks a kick and hits a German suplex. Lyra Kira gets fired up and hits a pair of clotheslines, followed by some strikes. Lyra Kira hits a Northern Light suplex before rolling through for a fisherman suplex to pick up a 2 count. Lyra Kira powers her up for a Nightwing, but Roxanne Perez counters with their roll up. They trade pins before Lyra Kira hits a spin kick. Lyra Kira climbs the ropes, but Raquel Rodriguez distracts the referee. Roxanne Perez attacks Lyra Kira and goes for a side leg sweep off the ropes, but Bayley rolls Lyra Kira and Roxanne Perez hits the mat hard. Lyra Kira hits the moonsault for the 2 count. Bayley cheers Lyra Kira on, so Raquel Rodriguez boosts her down. Lyra Kira hits Rodriguez with a reckoning ball drop kick. Roxanne Perez connects with a suicide dive into a tornado DDT. On the floor, Lyra Kira, Roxanne Perez gets her in the ring and hits Pop Rock for the win. The winner by pinfall, Roxanne Perez. This match was just decent for what it was. Bailey is furious and snaps to her more aggressive side. Bailey pulls Lara Carroll up to outside the pressure on Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Just a match with Lara Carroll and Roxanne Perez. Technically, it was a very good match, but the crowd wasn't into it at all. Hashtag WWE Raw, which is I agree with. That was a decent match. Monday Night Raw will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at 5 a.m. Pacific from Perth, Australia. Video package: the history of John Cena versus AJ Styles. Now, both in the twilight of their cheers, and they'll have one final showdown this Saturday in Perth, Australia. A WWE Crown Jewel. At WWE Crown Jewel, John Cena will be seeking his 100th PLE victory at Crown Jewel. He is second all time to The Undertaker, who has 107. Backstage interview. Jackie Redmond is going to interview AJ Styles, but he immediately interrupted by the Judgment Day. WWE Intercontinental Champion and AAA Mega Champion Dirty Dominic Mysterio says AJ Styles has no chance of beating John Cena when he comes out. Even beating him. Rusev, at World Tag Team Champion Finn Balor says he heard AJ Styles and Dragon Lee want a shot at the tag titles. Finn Balor says, as an old friend of AJ Styles, that he's making a big mistake. AJ Styles says they're tough when it's 3-on-1, but he gets in Dragon Lee's and someone else and talk to Adam Pearce about a 6-man tag tonight. AJ Styles walks off. JD Madonna says they should have jumped him right now. Alright, backstage segment. CM Punk is walking backstage. He'll return to Raw. He walks by Rusev, who is arguing with Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. So we go to commercial break. They show off the start time for WWE Crown Jewel around the world. Alright, so we get backstage segment. Penta is walking backstage when AJ Styles and Dragon Lee walk up to him. AJ Styles says he heard Penta is going after the Intercontinental Championship. He should team with them tonight and get his hands on Dominic Mysterio. They're interrupted by a ruckus. Bailey and Lara Carroll are viciously attacking Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. The WWE officials break them up, and Raw General Manager Adam Pearce nearly blows a gasket, screaming for her. But did you see that when they was brawling backstage, it was a security guards wrapping Bailey around her waist. Me and Showstopper TV seen that clip. We seen that clip right there. Alright, it is what it is. John Crumber, a professional bull rider, is at ringside. Hudson Bolton, another bull rider, is there. Rocker Stenner, a world champion rider, is showing. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleader are dancing at ringside. They should be showing all the cheerleaders, but it was just 2 cheerleaders. But it is what it is. CM Punk returns to Raw. CM Punk comes out to a huge ovation. CM Punk asks, "Is it great to be alive on Monday night in Dallas, Texas, or what?" CM Punk says, "The crowd is loud and like to sing." CM Punk starts to sing "Deep in the Hearts of Texas," and the crowd finishes it. CM Punk thanks them for a big warm welcome back to WWE for AJ Lee. A loud AJ Lee chant picks up. They're right around the corner from the Crown Jewel in Perth. They'll see Cody Rhodes. They take on Seth Rollins. One of the reasons he hasn't been here in 2 weeks is that he promised he'll keep his nose out of Roman Reigns' business. The match is for brand dominance and ego. CM Punk has also been celebrating with his wife since they beat Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza that was like 2 weeks ago. He started the year by defeating defeating Seth Rollins on the January 6th Raw on Netflix, and will end the year by beating Seth Rollins. Alright, there is a sign that says he deserves the world title. CM Punk says he doesn't deserve it. He earns it, and he has Seth Rollins' number. He'll get his world title back. LA Knight theme hits, and the megastar heads to the ring. LA Knight says, "Let me talk to you." CM Punk says LA Knight is interrupting him. LA Knight says he came in and blew the doors off the place. CM Punk, I'm sorry, but he hasn't gotten what he deserves. LA Knight says CM Punk has said some things, and they has said some things he agree but he does want to point out some omissions. CM Punk is the creator and owner of the pipe bomb, but lately he's only known as a husband. The world wants to need love, but a champion. CM Punk is trash. CM Punk was champion for 5 minutes at SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, where Seth Rollins pinned CM Punk and Clash in Paris. Seth Rollins pinned CM Punk. LA Knight asks if CM Punk knows who never been pinned by Seth Rollins. CM Punk says it's probably the guy who has never been World Heavyweight Champion. The crowd gasps. LA Knight says LA Knight says he's telling CM Punk that the line to Seth Rollins starts with him. LA Knight has pinned Seth Rollins and will do it again to win the World Heavyweight Champion. Main event: Jey Uso music hits, and he comes down to Amazon rather through the crowd. Jey Uso gets in the ring and says he's going to stop. He says he's going to stop LA Knight because he's thinking clearly. Jey Uso says he's the one who never got his rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso is up next. He's up next for the World Heavyweight Championship. LA Knight says he has his title and lost it. Jey Uso had his time to lose it. It is LA Knight's time. Jey Uso thinks he's lost the title because he's not Roman Reigns enough, but he should carve his own path. Jey Uso should focus on the tag team titles. After last week, he should stop sucking at being a tag team. Alright. Jimmy Uso walks down to the ring. Jey Uso super kicks LA Knight down as Jimmy Uso gets in the ring. CM Punk says he's assuming he's cool with the Usos. CM Punk understands Jey Uso's passion, but he had to get behind him for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey Uso says LA Knight has a point and should focus on being a tag team. CM Punk likes Jey Uso. But he doesn't like little Roman. Jey Uso goes after CM Punk, but Jimmy Uso holds him back. Jey Uso whips on a super kick, so CM Punk punches him. So Jey Uso goes after CM Punk, but Jimmy Uso holds him back. Jey Uso whips on a super kick, and CM Punk punches him down. CM Punk tells him Jey Uso to stay out of his way. Business. Jimmy Uso then super kicks CM Punk. CM Punk down and helps his brother to his feet. The Usos walk off together. This was a good segment. That's all I gotta say. Strong segment with CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso all making a case for the World Heavyweight Championship. There are some pretty there are some pretty hot matches floating out the good segment and good drama. Alright, video package. Jill Scott says she was. Jill Scott video package. Jill Scott says what happened between her and Oscar. Isn't real. Isn't real response. Oscar. Yeah, Oscar. It's Oscar. Jill Scott. Jill Scott owns Oscar everything. She was like a big sister. Jill Scott wanted to be like her, but her jealousy turns on everything. Oscar was one of the reasons she became a champion, but it's not the only reason. Rhea Ripley was right. Oscar only wants what was best for a year. Family member wouldn't tell her to be friends with. A real family members wouldn't take credit for what she has accomplished. They are not family anymore. Io Sky is starting to find out who she is. At Crown Jewel, Asuka will find out she's not ready for Io Sky. It is what it is. So it is what it is. But I believe that all I gotta say is Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are going to go over to the Kabuki Warriors. Alright, let me move on. So we go to commercial break. Later tonight, the Usos will battle CM Punk and LA Knight in the main event of Raw. So we get Io Sky versus Kairi Sane accompanied by Asuka. And this match right here, I ain't even gonna lie, this was a good match. And that's all I gotta say, this was a good match. Before the match begins, Io Sky hits Asuka with a suicide dive and punches away at her. Kairi Sane pulls her off and gets her in the ring. Asuka tells her to get Io Sky. The bell rings. Kairi Sane punches away at Io Sky. Kairi Sane looks conflicted as she backs up. She charges, but Io Sky drops her to the mat. Drops her to the apron. Kairi Sane shoulders Io Sky and heads to the top rope. Kairi Sane jumps over Io Sky as she moves. Io Sky hits the ropes and rolls over Kairi Sane. Io Sky counters a head scissors and lands on her feet. Io Sky pushes Io Sky off. They each attempt a dragging drop kick, but fail to connect. They're at a stalemate. Io Sky extends the arm to Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane looks conflicted until Asuka shouts at her. Kairi Sane goes after Io Sky, but Io Sky does some flops and drop kicks her out of the ring. Io Sky then hits Kairi Sane with a moonsault. Commercial break. Back from the break, Kairi Sane punches away at Io Sky. Io Sky fights back and puts her on the top rope. Kairi Sane knocks her away and applies a headlock scissors while hanging over the ropes. Kairi Sane looks conflicted as she stands on the apron. Kairi Sane goes to the top rope and she hits a diving clothesline. The crowd is waving around their phone flashlights for some reason. Kairi Sane applies a Boston Crab, but Io Sky rolls through and hits a double stomp. Kairi Sane quickly takes Io Sky down. Io Sky hits a pair of Shote uppercuts followed by a flapjack. Kairi Sane reverses a whip to the corner, but Io Sky twists through and punches her back. Io Sky goes to the top rope and hits a missile dropkick before popping up and posing to a huge ovation. Kairi Sane avoids a bullet train attack. Io Sky sidesteps Kairi Sane and hits a bridging German suplex. For a near fall. Io Sky goes for a double underhook face buster, but Kairi Sane lands on her feet and attacks her for a 2 count. Kairi Sane hits a vicious Alabama slam and goes to the top rope. Kairi Sane looks near tears as she goes for the insane elbow, but Io Sky gets to her feet again. Connects with a bullet train attack. Io Sky steps on her and goes for the top rope. Asuka gets on the apron, So Io Sky gets down and kicks her in the face. Same attack Io Sky from behind and rolls her up. Asuka holds Kairi Sane's arm for leverage to pick up the win. The winner of the match, Kairi Sane. This was a good match. Asuka attacks Io Sky from behind and holds her up for Kairi Sane to hit a spinning back fist. Kairi Sane is crying. Asuka holds Io Sky up and says, hits an insane elbow. The Kabuki words pose, but it's clear that Kairi Sane is not on the same page. Really good match with Io Sky and Kairi Sane, easily the best singles match I've seen Kairi Sane have. Great emotion and action throughout. Hashtag WWE. This was a good match, and that's all I gotta say. Video package part 2 of the Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins build. Seth Rollins sacrificed so much to help Cody Rhodes stop Roman Reigns, but less than 6 months after riding WWE of Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes lets him back in. Seth Rollins doesn't think Cody Rhodes deserves to be the company's leader. The Vicious Locker Room. Alright, the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch is facing and talking about her loss to Master Free in a physicality altercated manner. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are ignoring her. But Seth Rollins is getting his watch, then walks off. Seth Rollins tells Paul Heyman that they need to talk. Seth Rollins says he has to win on Saturday. Paul Heyman says he will. Seth Rollins asks, but what if he doesn't? Paul Heyman says it's an impossibility. Seth Rollins asks, what happens if he loses? Paul Heyman says he'll give it to him straight. Seth Rollins will lose the locker room, and as well as the faith of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed. Who was I? Netflix. It says Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, but Seth Rollins will throw away what they've built since WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is in the face of Raw on Netflix. Paul Heyman tells him to do himself a favor and not lose. Seth Rollins puts him back and says Paul Heyman left someone out of equation. Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, himself. What happens if he loses? Paul Heyman says Seth Rollins' secret weapon. Seth Rollins tells him to give him a straight answer. Paul Heyman says if you lose to Cody Rhodes at some point, I have to ask myself why I pick you. I have to ask myself why I pick you over Roman Reigns. It is what it is. Now this segment right here, I might as well say, this was a good backstage segment in my opinion. Backstage segment, Jey Uso is fired up with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso asks why his brother helped him. He's trying to get the World Heavyweight Championship, but now he's in a tag match. Is Jimmy Uso protecting CM Punk? Jey Uso is saying Jimmy Uso better pick his side. Pick his side. What was I? It said picks his. What was I? Jimmy better pick his side. Jey Uso walks off. Jimmy Uso says he sees Roman Reigns pulling his string and messing with Jey Uso's head. Jimmy Uso Jimmy Uso says he sees Roman Reigns pulling his string and messing with Jey Uso's head. Jimmy Uso isn't like Roman Reigns. Jey Uso is nothing like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns looks flabbergasted. Roman Reigns knows Jimmy Uso isn't hearing him, but he needs to listen. When his brother won the World Heavyweight Champion, he became more like Roman Reigns, less than like Jimmy Uso. If Jimmy Uso wants to help his brother, Sometimes he needs to get out of the way. Roman Reigns. Okay, yeah. And Jimmy Uso throws his hat down. Alright. Fantastic video package for Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. And a great follow-up segment with Seth Rollins' appointment. They even had a good segment right after with Roman Reigns and the Usos. That was a string of storytelling. Excellence. Hashtag WWE Raw, which is I agree with that. Penta makes his entrance. We have a 6-man tag team match next. Commercial break. AJ Styles starts to talk, but he's immediately cut off. So we get a 6-man tag team match. Penta, Dragon Lee, and the phenomenal AJ Styles versus the Judgment Day World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor and JD Madonna, and the WWE Intercontinental Champion, a AAA Mega Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. In this 6-man tag team match right here, this was a solid 6-man tag team match. Solid. It'll be AJ Styles starting the match against Finn Balor. They circle the ring and lock up. Finn Balor hooks a side headlock and changes it in. AJ Styles whips him off and leapfrogs him down before hitting a drop kick that sends Finn Balor out of the ring. JD Madonna runs in, but Penta super kicks him out of the ring. Dragon Lee runs in and drop kicks Dominic Mysterio out of the ring. AJ Styles hits Finn Balor with a forearm plancha. Penta hits JD Madonna with a plancha. Dragon Lee then takes Dominic Mysterio out with a somersault senton. Penta, AJ Styles, and Dragon Lee do Penta swaggy walk in the ring. Alright, so we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Dragon Lee sends JD Madonna to the corner and hits a running boot. Penta hits a standing slingshot dropkick as Dragon Lee super kicks Finn Balor down. AJ Styles runs in and picks up a 2 count. Dragon Lee and chops JD Madonna's chest, letting Dragon Lee send JD Madonna to the corner. And blocks a boot before hitting a nasty dragon screw on the ropes. Dragon Lee backs up and hits the corner basement drop kick for a 2 count. Let's go to the top rope, but JD Madonna drop kicks him out of midair. Dominic Mysterio tag into a big ovation. Dominic Mysterio punches away at Dragon Lee and hits a spinning back elbow for 1 count. Dominic Mysterio mobs Dragon Lee and punches away at him. The crowd sings to Dominic Mysterio as he poses. Dominic Mysterio punches Dragon Lee and whips him hard into the corner, bringing him to his knees. Dominic Mysterio hooks the head and starts up the 3 amigos. One amigo, 2 amigos, and Dominic Mysterio pose. And Dragon Lee catches him with an inside cradle for a 2 count. Dominic Mysterio stops Dragon Lee from making a tag and powers him to his corner. JD Madonna tags in and presses Snapmare. Finn Balor tags in and hits a slingshot stomp. Dominic Mysterio tags in and hits a slingshot somersault senton. JD Madonna tags in and hits a springboard sitting moonsault for a 2 count. The Judgment Day pose on the corner. Pose in the corner. Backstage. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Dragon Lee catches Dominic Mysterio with a beautiful set-up powerbomb. Both men are down. Penta and JD Madonna tagging. Penta close on JD Madonna and knocks Finn Balor off the apron. Penta hits a running hurricane on JD Madonna and hits Dominic Mysterio with a reverse sling blade. Penta kicks Finn Balor and rolls up Dominic Mysterio before rolling into a DDT on Finn Balor. Penta signals for the end. Penta charge, but JD Madonna hits him with a Spanish fly. AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio tag in. AJ Styles hits him with a strike combo, followed by a corner clothesline. Dominic Mysterio gets out of the ring, out of Yogoshi, but he can't avoid a torture rack bomb. 1-2. JD Madonna breaks it up. Dragon Lee clotheslines JD Madonna out of the ring. Finn Balor sends Dragon Lee into Penta. Attack Finn Balor before hitting him with a somersault senton. In the ring, AJ Styles grounds Dominic Mysterio, but he holds the ropes. Dominic Mysterio hot shots AJ Styles and drop kicks him into position. Dominic Mysterio sets up for a 619, but he falls in fear when he sees Rusev walking down to ringside. Rusev grabs Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio dunks as Penta goes for a super kick, and Penta hits Rusev instead. In the ring, AJ Styles counters for a roll up. JD Madonna hits and roll up from JD Madonna and hits a Styles Clash for the win. The winner by pinfall, Penta, Dragon Lee, and AJ Styles. Solid 6-man tag team match right here. AJ Styles grabs a microphone and stands on the commentary table. This match is at Crown Jewel against John Cena. Doesn't need a story. It writes itself. They will dance for the last time and leave it all in the ring. We'll see. It will kick. You know what? Solid 6-man tag. Nothing groundbreaking. It's your standard WWE tag team. WWE tag that always works with the crown. Good hot tag and the action. Alright. That was a solid 6-man tag team match. This Saturday at Crown Jewel, it will be John Cena versus AJ Styles. The commentary team runs down the rest of the card. Backstage segment, LA Knight is warming up when CM Punk comes up to him. CM Punk says he doesn't want this match because it doesn't get him close to the World Heavyweight Championship. LA Knight says neither of them wants the match, but they'll go to do it. LA Knight tells CM Punk not to get pinned and walk off. The Usos make their entrance. The main event is next. Commercial break. Next week on Raw, WWE Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Bayley and Lyra Raquel versus the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So we get the main event of the evening, tag team match. The Usos, Jimmy Uso, and main event Jey Uso versus LA Knight and CM Punk. And this was a decent main event match for what it was. CM Punk and LA Knight gets in the ring and attack the Usos. CM Punk takes it to Jimmy Uso, who super kicked him earlier tonight. And LA Knight takes it to Jey Uso, who super kicked him earlier tonight. Jey Uso because LA Knight, but LA Knight comes back with a jawbreaker. LA Knight stomps Jey Uso in the corner and backs up for a running knee. LA Knight then aggressively tags CM Punk in. CM Punk wrenches Jey Uso's arm and yanks it on. CM Punk chops LA Knight to tag him in. LA Knight wrenches the arm, but Jey Uso gets away and tags Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso runs in, and LA Knight hits a hip toss. Jimmy Uso chops him back and goes for a superplex, but LA Knight lands on his feet and hits a neckbreaker. Jimmy Uso sends LA Knight into the ropes and charge, but the referee stops him. Jey Uso hits LA Knight from behind and tags in. Jey Uso punches LA Knight in the ring at ringside, and whips him hard into the ring steps. So we go to commercial break. Back from the final commercial break of the evening, Jey Uso keeps LA Knight in his corner and tags Jimmy Uso in. Jimmy Uso looks at CM Punk before hitting LA Knight with a forearm to the jaw. Jey Uso tags in. The Usos hit a backbreaker / diving chop combo. Jey Uso looks at CM Punk before hitting LA Knight with a running hip attack. Jey Uso sides LA Knight up and goes for another running hip attack, but LA Knight moves and hits a leaping neck breaker. CM Punk and Jimmy Uso tag in. CM Punk hits a pair of clotheslines before sending him into the ropes for a leaping calf kick. CM Punk hits a running knee to the jaw, followed by a short arm clothesline. CM Punk goes to the top rope and does a yeet before hitting a diving elbow drop. CM Punk takes his shirt off and signals for the end. CM Punk goes for go to sleep on Jimmy Uso, but Jimmy Uso slides off and hits a super kick. Jey Uso tags in and goes to the top rope for an Uso splash. 1-2. LA Knight breaks up the pin. LA Knight blocks a super kick from Jimmy Uso and goes for a blunt force trauma. Jimmy Uso shoves LA Knight into Jey Uso. LA Knight quickly hits Jimmy Uso with the BFT. Jey Uso super kicks LA Knight. CM Punk rolls Jey Uso up for a 2 count. Jey Uso hits the ropes and hits CM Punk with a spear. Jey Uso goes to the top rope, but he comes off down to knock LA Knight off the apron. CM Punk left Jey Uso and hits the GTS. LA Knight blonde tags in the crowd and the cover Jey Uso for the win. CM Punk is not happy. The winner by pinfall, LA Knight and CM Punk. This was a decent tag team match, but Jey Uso took the pinfall. Decent main event, but it felt like there were a bit pressed for time. I was surprised by the outcome and no interference, not complaining at all. So that was refreshing, good stuff as we continue to head into the fall season wrestling, which is hit or miss usually. Hashtag WWE Raw. Overall, this was a solid edition of WWE Raw with some good storytelling and build for WWE Crown Jewel. I'm intrigued by some of the matches, but it's all the follow through. We'll see if the event live up to the hype. And WWE Raw goes off the air. Alright, let me give my experience what I think about WWE Raw. Now, WWE Raw was a boring show for what it was. But I can say this though, I miss Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. That's all I gotta say. Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair has to come back to save the women's division. So Liv Morgan can be on Raw and Bianca Belair can be on SmackDown. But those two, Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair needs to come back to save the women's division. Because the women's division on Raw and SmackDown, it just got awful. And the tag team division on SmackDown is nothing but what ifs. And that's all I gotta say. And that's nothing but facts. But anyway, if you guys enjoy my WWE Raw review on highlights, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all towards the end. Hit that thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think of WWE Raw because it was a boring show for what it was. Follow my social media down below in the description. And thank you guys so much for coming out to my stream on Twitch. Last night I was playing like some retro gaming over there on Twitch. It was much fun. Shout out to Cherry Cream for dropping 10 gift subs to my live stream on Twitch last night. So I had a good time. So thank you, Cherry Creams, for dropping 10 gift subs over there on Twitch. So with that being said, I will be going live on Twitch for some WWE NXT Invasion watch along live and reaction. So I am going to go live on Twitch for some WWE NXT Invasion watch along live reactions. And that's all I gotta say. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I will see you guys tonight for my upcoming world premiere for my WWE Raw review outside around 4 o'clock a.m. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.